Welcome to day 229 of TFIF 365. And today I want to talk about a lived experience that I've been challenged with that I have not shared, and I want to share now because it's a great example of because I wanted to come back to when I was talking about the coalition of the wounded. It doesn't always have to be abuse, because that's how we think about people. You have to be physically, emotionally, or physically, emotionally, or sexually abused or something like that. And I don't want folks to think it has to be that extreme, that grotesque of it doesn't have to be abuse. So when I say the coalition of the wounded, and when I talk about supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free, this is what I mean. So I'm just going to tell you a story that I last week I realized. So I'm in Mexico, and last week I realized that I lost my passport. And I've said time and time again, I have ADHD. So I try to put things where I can always find them. And I don't remember having my passport after going through customs, right? So I happened to pick up I was going to do something. I don't even remember what it was, but I went into the part of my luggage where my passport should be, and it was not there. And immediately, some of the thoughts came, and I had to manage my feelings, right? Because this is when I talk about manufactured anxiety. And so so I go to get online. There's the consulate website isn't clear on when it says renew passport or get a passport. It doesn't say, did you lose it? You don't see that until you get to the application part. So I was just like lost on the website. I didn't know, again, that's that ADHD. And also it comes from, this is the wounded, the coalition of the wounded part for me. It comes from always having to be right. Always, never giving, as a Black woman, we're rarely given the benefit of the doubt. We're rarely given space to make mistakes and to learn from them. When we, quote unquote, fuck up, it like the world is coming to an end. We don't get extended grace. So immediately, when I could not find my passport, I went into self-recrimination. I went into I literally, when I was going to the consulate, because like I said, I couldn't figure out the website. So I was like, let me just go down here and figure out what's going on. So I got my passport picture, and I could figure that out, but I couldn't figure out which application to fill out. So I went down there on, today's Friday, I went down there on Tuesday, and just the narrative that was going on in my head was, I had not recognized, and it's because I'm doing this work now, how negative the self-talk I unconsciously speak to myself. It was like, you're not capable, I can't even think of the one that really got me, because that was one that like shocked me, and I was like, okay, I got to stop this narrative. Competent, that's what it was. It was like, look at you, you're not competent. And I was like, why the fuck am I saying this to myself? And then I recognized that if it wasn't for this work that I was doing of modeling and showing what it was like to live supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free, would I have even examined that thought, or would I have reacted to the thought? And that's what happens, because I've been talking about putting space between my triggers and my response. When we say triggers, we usually think stuff outside of ourselves, right? We rarely examine the self-talk, the stuff we tell ourselves. And they come from wherever you are on your journey. I can only speak for a Black woman in the U.S. For me, it comes from never being extended grace, never being allowed to make mistakes. Because when we make mistakes, it's we're stupid. It's how could you be so foolish, and all of that stuff. So all of that was going through my head, and I really had to manage that. And I didn't want to talk about it at that moment, because yes, although I want to be transparent and honest here, I don't owe you to see me going through this. I don't owe you that. You have not earned the right to see me at my most vulnerable. You have not. So I went to the people who have earned that right to see me as my most vulnerable, because they've shown me that they can support me through that. And so what I did was, instead of reacting as I normally do, I just went through it. I just kept telling myself just to breathe. and just paying attention because, I'm in another country. I don't speak the language. So Google Translate is my friend. And I got through it. And so today I had a very early appointment to go. They told me what I needed to do. And even when I got there today, they didn't tell me about which form. So when I got there, he was like, you need to have this form. I was like, oh, shit. But I didn't panic. And thankfully, around the corner from the place is a place where I could go on the computer, fill out the application, have it print out, and go back. And the past me would still be like, oh, that was so stupid. How did you not put the passport in the same place? All of that. I did not experience that. Once I recognized what I was doing to myself, I stopped myself. It wasn't easy. It wasn't like instantaneous, but I worked my way back. And this is what I mean by the coalition of the wounded. Wounds don't have to be from that kind of trauma, right? It could be from lived experience of the things that people have told you and the things you believe about yourselves. And that's where the healing comes. And this is why this work is all about you first. I really have I was about to say no respect, but I'm not going to say no respect. I really discount, I'll say that, the opinions of people who cannot manage themselves, who always have advice for others or have an opinion about how other people are living their lives or how systems, institutions, and stuff are functioning, but they have not examined how they play a role in that system, institution, and policy functioning to harm, that privilege the few and harm the many. And so, yeah, that's the work. That's the work. And so when I say coalition of the wounded, I was not speaking of, and this is what I mean by that workplace is not about therapy. It just should be a place where you're not additionally harmed. I just want a place where people can go to work and they're not harmed. Their harm is not exacerbated in different ways. And this is why I don't call it microaggressions. I never use the term microaggressions because it's professional violence. And so this is the things we need to think about. The little things. No one would have known that I was going through all of that, but my attitude would have projected what I was going through had I not been aware and willing to do the work to work through that thing. It would have come out other ways because it has in the past because I wasn't doing this work. So when I talk about the coalition of the wounded, I'm talking about all the different ways where people come into a space where they're supposed to be collaborating, where they're supposed to be in coalition with each other, and yet they have obvious and not obvious wounds that we all need to work through and we all need to give each other, extend some grace for. So I have an appointment today at 4:00 to go pick it up. So it worked out. I still don't know what the hell that damn app, that passport is. And and so I just wanted to share that because when I say coalition of the wounded, it doesn't have to be people cussing each other out. It doesn't have to be obvious abuse. It could be the things that people are saying in their heads, and how what they're saying in their heads is how they respond in these different communities and in organizations and with initiatives and all these other things. And those are the things that people have to take responsibility for and again deal with and not manufacture anxiety. So until tomorrow, peace. Become a sustaining sponsor at kimcreighton.com/support-the-work and help make this work happen.